Soumya. Ah, such a different name.
Yeah, it's quite a story. Means actually, uh, my Nanaji was a Sanskrit professor, and it's quite common in Sanskrit, Soumya, which means polite. So many times there were issues in the schools because there were a lot of girls named Soumya, and when you give Soumya in English and Soumya in English, they usually have the same spelling. So an initial start would always be maybe a girl would turn up, but eventually there's a boy coming out.
So, the name has Sanskrit origins, right?
Yeah.
Where does Sanskrit come from? Which
Sans-
script?
Sanskrit is Devanagari script.
Devanagari.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any other scripts?
Well, yes, there is Gurmukhi which takes Punjabi, and
Okay.
that's I think that's all I know.
Okay. Tell me something about yourself, Soumya.
Okay, I'm a person who adheres to certain philosophies in life. One being the three D's, which I usually follow. It's discipline, determination, and dedication. And the second one is that success is a journey and not a destination. I think these two philosophies have made me what I am today. Uh, because, like when I came to IIT Kanpur, people usually take up that yes, now you have reached a big institute, and starts taking things casually. But on the other hand, I felt that each new step is a new phase in my life. It's a new challenge which I keep on taking, and I try to excel in it. Like whether it was the Jugnu project, which was India's first nano satellite, which was a no, it was a project which was not done any time before. It was totally a new domain. We didn't know what to do, but we came up. We developed it, and it was a real success.
Jugnu,
Hmm.
the nano.
Yeah.
Why not make it at pico levels?
Well, see, what is the objective of nano satellite basically at the student level is when ISRO designs certain satellites, it costs a lot of money. When you make nano satellites, it's much cheaper. You make it at sufficiently lower cost. What you do is you try the technologies which are working on Earth into space because the cost involved is less. So there's less loss in terms if the project does not succeed. And if many such nano satellite projects will develop, then the main projects, the bigger ones which cost thousands of crores, there a technology change can be made. Answering to your question, why not Pico? Well, nano is basically 1 to 10 kilogram of thing. So we wanted to keep it at a structure where it does not cost much, yet we can test a lot of technologies. So we had 6 technologies. If we had gone for a Pico satellite, we would have at max been able to test one.
Okay. Tell me something about Moore's law then.
Okay, Morse was a person in 1940 who saw the trend.
40.
Yeah, it was 1965 he came up with the law.
Okay.
But he was a person who saw the trends from 1940
Okay, fine.
till 1965 that how the semiconductor industry is progressing.
Okay.
And based on that, he predicted that each 2 years the technology will double. 1.5 to 2 years, technology will double. It has been following that trend since the last few years, but now it has become more of a thing which people are means forced to follow rather than actually able to follow it. Till now, it was already being there was a progress, but now we have reached a domain where it cannot be reduced further. And that's one technology I'm working in my MTech thesis. It's called graphene semiconductor. We know that there is silicon technology in the world. Well, silicon can't go any further down, and because it can't go any further down, Moore's law will not hold. And graphene is a substitute for carbon, means it's a allotrope of carbon, and it because carbon has a lesser size than
But
silicon.
silicon and germanium,
Yeah.
known ones.
Yeah.
If I want high-speed systems,
Mm-hmm.
which one do I use?
Germanium.
Germanium.
Yeah.
Better than both?
Graphene.
Graphene. That's something which you are developing
It's in process.
in
Yes.
process.
Mhm.
What are the systems currently incorporated where, well, which kind of semiconductor is used in those high-speed systems currently operating in labs and all?
Okay, I like to add that germanium is being operated. However, IBM has just come up with a graphene microprocessor which runs at 120 gigahertz, and that's quite a lot of speed.
It's a lot of speed. Okay. You have been an electronic and electronics engineer.
Yeah.
You have studied about transmission lines and systems?
Well, my area of interest has always been electronics.
Electronics.
Yes.
Okay. Talking about Intel,
Yeah.
well, you said you have a job at Microsoft,
Yeah.
right? Why not go for it now? You have a prestigious career ahead of you,
Mhm.
behind you.
Right.
So why go for Microsoft? Why not Intel? Where, well, your options would be explored better.
See, I always like to take up new challenges in life. I have worked at an industry very similar to Intel. What Intel is in the processor industry, I have worked at Qualcomm, which is the same, which does the same work in the in the phone sector. It designs processors for phones. What I have learned being in that sector is eventually what matters to people is what applications run on them. No matter how better processor I give, it always matter how fast my computer can run, how fast my operating system can run. And that's a place where I can exploit both the knowledges. I'm wanting to work in Microsoft at a new thing which they've just developed, which is called Surface, which is an integration between phone and operating system which Windows has developed. So that's an area where I know what I want, what I have learned, and I can also expand myself there.
Okay, about operating systems. Some operating systems of Apple,
They have iMac, I think. They have that their computer, but
and they launch several versions of.
well, I have never been an Apple guy. Means I didn't go into Apple. So.
Okay. Moving on. You have been a good engineer. What has been your cumulative grade point average?
It's 10 for the post graduation and 9 for the undergraduation.
Okay. So you have been a above average student,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me, doesn't it look bad that just non-justifying your career as an engineer and going for MBA, because now you may be incorporating yourself in a sector of finance or maybe something like that, and
Hmm?
going for something which is not actually your domain.
Well, being from a family of teachers, one thing that has, like I told you, it's determination, discipline. No matter what field I go into, I strive the best I can.
But
Yes.
yeah, but again, you went to IIT.
Hmm.
You were a good engineer.
Hmm.
Indian government put a lot of money on you. Now you're going for MBA, and there is a big possibility you may
Yes,
go
so
outside.
with an engineering background and getting that business skill set will enhance my overall domain, and maybe I can contribute to a society in a much better way. Sitting back at an engineer's job will not help me affect as many people as I can. Rather than I have the engineering background, I move into a managerial in a company where I am at a managerial position, I can affect a lot more people.
Okay. Now you're going for MBA.
Mhm.
You get a call from Ahmedabad. You have a call from Kolkata.
Right.
Now you come to this institute.
Mhm.
You may receive a call from a better institutes also. Why appear for this interview? Is it the lack of confidence that you not get selected in one of those?
Like I mentioned, I like to strive in whatever opportunity I get. And this is one good opportunity which I don't want to leave. It's not about that I'm not confident enough. It's about going there and striving in it.
Okay. Whom do you idolize then?
I idealize basically my parents, not any person in particular, but my parents. Because I have seen them, they were there with me every day, making me learn how to go about it. If I had not been brought up in a family of teachers, I would not have been what I am today. I feel seeing that discipline at home, seeing how my father reacts to different situations, my mom being a physics teacher, my dad being a commerce professor, I have seen that how engineering or you say science and management blends together to give a beautiful result. And that's what I want in me.
Okay. What is your career goal, Soumya?
My career goal will be to be at a responsible position where I can affect as many people as possible.
Okay. And just tell me, like, okay, you said affecting people.
Yeah.
What do you think, like, will be the biggest boulder in your path of your goal, in this path of your goal?
The biggest boulder I feel which can be there is people not agreeing to what I am saying. Means I may want to see most of the companies run on monetary backgrounds. They
But
want to
then
make
that's
money.
what is expected from a manager. People obey him. And that's what makes him a better manager. So if people don't listen to you, how do you believe you'll be a good manager?
I feel managerial prospect is where people look into below them. I am talking about the place where I want to reach.
Okay.
It's not about making money eventually in life. Means I don't want to work in an organization who just looks at making money. It should be a sustainable development kind of environment where money is one thing, but helping people on the other hand is also as good.
Tell me, I give you a situation like there are 7 people at your level. Now you say the biggest boulder would be if people don't listen. I'm not talking in terms of money. It's talking about the success ladder. And well, there's a discussion going where well, everyone wants to be the leader.
Right.
How do you convince such a group where everyone is violent?
I feel as long as there is conviction in your argument, there is logic. People are more or less bound to be convinced, and that's what my life has taught me. Means I am a person who has good analytical skills and who has a good logic to back it, and that's what I keep applying. If I am in any situation, I just think two things: how would my parents react to it, and secondly, what is logical and what makes sense.
You have a lot of love for your parents.
Yes.
I tell you a situation. Okay, take it, you're driving in a bus with your parents and suddenly goons attack the bus and you can save any one of them. So, whom will you save it?
Well, if there's a choice of me and one, then I'll say that okay, I'll go ahead with either I can go for both of them and not me, so that they
No,
live
no, no,
together.
there's only one chance and only one of them has to be saved.
Then I'll go ahead with my mother.
Mother,
And
why
the
not
reason?
father?
Well, I feel my father has dreamed whatever he dreamed of, he has accomplished it a lot, and my mother has still some dreams left.
But doesn't your mother love your father?
Yes, she does.
So that would mean your mother believing that you are sacrificing her, her husband actually, fine, in saving her life. She won't be happy and she will hate you for your life.
Yes, but that's where logic comes in. I'll try to explain to her that I was in a situation where I could only save one of you, and I feel that you have a much more means your life you want to achieve much more goals which are not we are still incomplete, and that's what we can do together.
Okay. And what if it had been your wife and girlfriend?
Wife and girlfriend, I think it's an easy option to choose. Why not
Okay.
wife?
Let it okay. Wife and her sister. Sister who ties you a rakhi and asks you, save me, brother, from any problems in life. And wife, oh, you have 7 generations to live with her. 7 lives actually.
Right.
So which one then?
Okay, that's a good one. But given that I am the only child in my family, I have not been through that sisterly love, so I will choose my wife.
Okay, Mr. Soumya. Now you may be knowing about brain drain.
Yeah.
Okay. During 70s, 80s, there was a lot of brain drain. What do you think was the primary reason for that?
The lack of opportunities in the country to excel. It was more of a system which was closed down behind government. There was no scope of privatization. There was no scope of entrepreneurship. And the salary structure wasn't that returnful, fruitful. I think things have changed now. And because
What made the change?
I think one of those steps was the step taken by Mr. Manmohan Singh
Okay.
of globalization liberalization. Another such step was bringing in the investments and the entrepreneurship. It's like a chain percolating downwards. If you establish a sector, they'll take in people. Those people will excel, and they will further take it down. That's what we learn at IITs and IIMs. We start a new business. We are being invested upon, and we start a business and help other people grow up.
What are your hobbies, Soumya?
I love playing squash. I'm a
Squash,
professional
okay.
squash player, and I love ballroom dancing. Well, that's one thing which I started after coming to IIT Kanpur.
Okay, about ballroom dancing.
Mhm.
Any dances you're aware of?
No, I'm not aware of any dancers as such, but because there is one good professor in my college who really loves it and teaches us. He was the head, I don't know if he's popular in that domain, but he was the head at ballroom dancing in University of Texas. So he must not be a popular figure, but that's what the maximum I look upon to.
Okay. So you love dancing, and other than that,
Squash.
squash, and like there's a lot of time, 24 hours. You
Right.
study, you play squash, you
I
dance.
love coding, and that's why I love to build algorithms.
You love to build algorithms.
Mhm.
Can you give me the structure of the last algorithm you built?
Okay, now can I have a paper, please?
Please. Just give me a basic structure.
Okay.
I don't want details.
So we were basically, should it be a real life? No, just the last one,
Anything.
right?
Yeah.
So what we were basically trying to do is, suppose we have a square maze and we want to find the largest element which was preceding in that area.
Okay.
So I have to, like, every element, this element will be the maximum of all such elements,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So this is a recursive algorithm, or you can call it a dynamic programming. So it's easy to build it up. So all along this, so first element will be as it is. However, if we are looking for this element, we just need to put this forward.
How do you do that?
We just do a max of whatever has been previously done. What it will be? It will be basically comparing this row, and this diagonal element, right? So if we do all just, so we don't need to compare the whole matrix, just the
Where do
column.
you think will this algorithm be incorporated in the practical world?
Well, in the practical world, this will be, just give me a moment, I'll think about it. Okay. Suppose we are trying to find a maximum, a person who earns the maximum in a 2D matrix structure, and we want to get that information. 2D matrix structure can be anything. Let's say we are sitting, everyone is sitting, and we are going for a bid. Now everyone is bidding, and eventually we want to find out the person who bid us who is the maximum bidder. We don't need to keep the information of the whole system, rather than just percolate the information downwards, and in the end just look at the last structure.
Okay. Fine. So I'm being much convinced with your technical skills. Let me ask you one more thing. You must be aware of CEOs of different companies.
Not really.
Not really. Why?
Because I don't idealize any one of them. But yes, I have heard a few. I have heard of Indra Noor, though I am not aware of many CEOs. It does not matter who they are. It matters what their story has been.
Okay. What kind of philosophy do you read? Like you told me about your life philosophy.
Right.
You may be reading some.
Not really.
Not really. Okay. What do you aspire? Like, for example, you meet me first time. What do you think will surprise me? What is your aspect which surprises me?
My catching point will be, I'm a good person at heart. When I talk to them,
Okay.
they'll realize that I'm a true person at heart. And
So first time they don't realize that.
well, if you are a good judge, I think you can do that.
Okay, Soumya, tell me something about your weaknesses.
My weaknesses are, I trust people too easily,
Okay.
and I'm not able to convince people. The last one being, if I feel that I am right, and means I know I'm right, but people are not agreeing to it, I start adding points to it, which is a very bad weakness I really want to remove.
And other than that, it's just one weakness in your life.
3 I told you.
No, you said about okay, not talking like
Yes,
trusting too much
Yes,
and trying to add too much.
if I'm right. For example, let me give you an example.
But in a corporate world, boss is always right.
Yes.
So it
But
may.
it's important to make your point put through. I'll give you an example. Suppose I have done something.
Okay.
That's one mistake I always regret. Uh, I'm still
Please,
discussing
please.
it. Like in case of my professor, I was doing my thesis. I knew a result was right, and he was not agreeing to it. And I knew it will be a game changer. This result would be a game changer. But he simply refused. No, it can't be so easy. So I tried to put in importance to it, like I have read this somewhere, it's true, or in such a form. So as long as I know I'm okay, that's one thing which I really regret, because I'm adding on things which are not actually true.
Okay. What is prisoner's dilemma? Haven't heard of it. Okay. Now there was a big Republic Day festival which happened. Who was the chief guest?
Currently, he was, I think, Bhutan's.
Name?
I'm not aware.
You're not aware.
No.
Well, I believe a basic quality which is expected from a manager is to be aware.
Yes, that's one thing. I have been a little more engrossed into my technical side of doing my thesis.
Coming up to this place of interview,
Mm-hmm.
you had a flight of stairs which you went through.
Right.
How many steps did you go through?
It was 22.
Are you sure?
Yes. Let's go ahead and check it.
Okay.
Recently, Science Congress was held. Will you tell me the place where it was?
Like
Science Congress related to field.
right now I'm in a domain and it just been the placement season. I know it's not an excuse, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. If you're not selected for this interview,
Mhm.
Soumya, what do you think would be a reason for that?
Maybe my lack of awareness, which is a very important characteristic of managing.
Okay. One more thing. You have a good personal disposition. You have set career goals. Now, if not MBA, you have a good job. You will go for Microsoft.
Yes.
Just one simple question. What is the level to which you will go in achieving your MBA goal if you're not going through an MBA college?
I don't think good means definitely MBA college makes you achieve what you will eventually achieve in a much earlier time. But I think throughout the life, MBA is like learning what to do in life, and I may learn that 5 years down the line. So it's a thing more of experience. More I'll work in the industry, it's about being a manager. So I may be promoted to a managerial position and learn accordingly. However, if I had an MBA or I had gone through this study, I would have learned that in a much shorter time.
Okay. Now, a few things. You may be aware about Panchasheel Pact, India and China.
Okay.
Are you aware?
Yes, I have heard it, but I won't
Okay,
do it.
no problem. You may have heard about Naxalism.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
That is something you said with power, means you
Mhm.
know about it.
Yeah.
What is Red Corridor?
Sorry. I'm looking very bad on my GK.
Oh, no problem. Well, that is something you have to enhance. Any questions you want to ask us?
Uh, no, that will be okay.
Okay. Thank you, Soumya.
Thank you.